Thomas Haymore is an experienced product manager and marketer with experience in a variety of small and large startups where he has designed, coded, and marketed products. Thomas is a graduate of Stanford Law School, where he was president of the Stanford Law Review and has a PhD ABD in management science and engineering from Stanford. Thomas' education, product marketing experience, and entrepreneurial skills help him to empower sales reps to make the most of cutting-edge technologies.
Thanks for the introduction, and welcome to our session on Sales Indicator, where you can predict success before you hire. Before we jump into details about the product, let's talk about the problem. It's one that every sales organization faces. Only about half of all reps hit quota. And with sales teams' quotas going higher and higher every year, and unfortunately with resources staying the same or even dropping, this is harder and harder to do. If only about half your reps are going to hit quota, you're going to have to work extra hard to hit your overall quota. And when you're devoting all those resources to hiring a new rep, you've got to be certain that that's going to pay off with increased quota. There's a whole slew of tools that you've traditionally used to help you in the hiring process, from resumes and references to screening calls and interviews. But at the end of the day, it's uncertain what this produces. You don't know what you're going to get. It's still a question mark. Those traditional methods won't help you much in distinguishing between, say, a candidate with lots of experience and a great education, and a candidate with less experience and less education who might actually have vastly different results on the sales floor. For instance, your experienced candidate might come in at below quota, and your brand new sales rep might come in at above quota. This is what Sales Indicator tries to solve. It tries to give you actual predictions on the quota these reps are going to hit. It helps you supplement your hiring processes and actually get reliable, predictable performance. Sales Indicator helps solve this problem, not by replacing these old tools, but by supplementing them. You're still going to have resumes, you're still going to make reference calls, and you're still going to have interviews. But when Sales Indicator gives you a predicted quota attainment by the candidate, you know whether it's worth your time. Let's jump into the product now and see how it works. You can learn more about Sales Indicator by going to its homepage at salesindicator.com. Let's jump into the product now and discuss how it works and how you can use it to lift revenue for your team by hiring the right reps. Sales Indicator delivers a pretty simple value. It predicts quota attainment for candidates who are applying for specific roles on your team. It makes these predictions by having candidates take assessments that evaluate particular characteristics that will make them successful salespeople. It tailors the evaluation of these characteristics specifically to your team and specific roles on your team. Let's jump into the product so we can explain more about how this works. Right now we're looking at the homepage or dashboard for Sales Indicator. At the top you can see a link to send an assessment, and in the middle you can see a list of recently taken assessments with predicted quota attainment. For instance, Brad Nichols is the most recent applicant with a predicted quota of 93%. Before I jump into more detail for the assessments, let's talk about positions, the building blocks of Sales Indicator. One of the reasons Sales Indicator is so successful is because we don't try to match a candidate to your entire company. Rather, we match candidates to specific roles. When we evaluate a candidate, we assess the characteristics that will make them a successful sales rep for that particular role. Each role has different success metrics. You can see here details for our sales role. There's a listed monthly quota and how often that quota is measured. And down in the middle of the screen, you can see some details on what the average attainment is for reps in that role. All of this data is used together and then benchmarked against your current reps to then evaluate candidates and predict what their quota attainment will be. In the middle of the screen, you see two URLs. The one on the left is the URL you send to applicants. They will get a short assessment. It'll usually take less than 15 minutes to complete, after which you'll receive a prediction of their quota attainment in your dashboard on Sales Indicator. On the right is the employee URL. This URL you send to your current employees, and it establishes a benchmark. It evaluates the characteristics that make successful sales reps for your team in this particular role, and that baseline or benchmark is then used to evaluate applicants. If we go back to our dashboard, we can see again that these are the recent assessments and their predicted quota, and we can see one of these predictions in detail. Here's a quota prediction for an applicant named Patrick Riley. The prediction says he'll get 107% of his monthly quota. On the right, you see the breakdown of sales characteristics that led to this prediction: empathy, resilience, ambition, and openness. Now, Sales Indicator is not a personality test. They're not trying to make a statement here of what particular person Patrick is, his personality, or his or his communication patterns. All that we use these for are proxies to match and measure him against your current benchmark of your current sales force and their historical performance. It's easy to send more assessments. You can use the link in any of the positions that we talked about just a moment ago, or you can click the Send Assessment link at the top of your Sales Indicator dashboard. You select the position you want to evaluate them for. You check whether an employee, and therefore should be used to establish a benchmark, or leave that unchecked to indicate that they're an applicant who should be evaluated for the position. And then you send off your assessment. Once you get the quota prediction from Sales Indicator, you can use that to refine and supplement your current hiring practices. If, for instance, Sales Indicator predicts that someone will have a healthy quota attainment, then you know that they're worth further investment with screening interviews or in-person interviews or whatever other methods you use in your hiring process. Thanks for listening to our demo of Sales Indicator. Sales Indicator accelerates your sales hiring and your whole sales team with 3 pillars. First, visibility. Know who will hit quota before hiring and know what traits lead to success. Second, productivity. Spend more time selling and less time finding new reps. And third, effectiveness. Sell more with higher performing reps who stay on the job longer. You can see the success some of our customers have had. Reliant Funding only had about 36% of their reps hitting quota. Sales Indicator was able to identify successful reps with 66% accuracy, almost double. Outbound Engine had similar success. With a baseline of 44%, Sales Indicator got them to 70%. You can see just what a tremendous impact this would have on their bottom line by almost doubling the number of reps who hit quota. Sales Indicator is so impactful partly because it's part of an integrated sales acceleration platform from InsideSales.com. From sales communication to engagement tracking, all the way to sales hiring, InsideSales.com helps you optimize every level of your sales org. And it's all built on Neurolytics, our self-learning system that is backed by over a decade of data and research, which includes over 80 billion sales interactions. With this much data, Neurolytics has pretty much seen it all, and it knows how to build a custom predictive model just for your company. That's how it can help with sales hiring and with all these other sales functions as well. And I hope if you have any more questions, you'll attend the virtual booth for InsideSales.com, and don't forget